Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Let's Play Planet Coaster. First off, I would like to apologize that I completely forgot to press record for the first good portion of this custom supporting video. I sort of just dove right in and started trying to do custom supports now that we actually have custom support options in Planet Coaster. This is really the first roller coaster I've actually tried to make realistic in Planet Coaster, as far as using the 4-meter method to get the heartline to lay out and just overall smooth the layout. I actually was sick for like a week, and I figured, you know, with me working a lot, I just thought this would be a pretty good time to get in some practice when I'm not napping. And so at first I was just kind of doing a very heavy mix of in-game supports. Like, I wasn't going to do that many custom supports. Like, I was just going to kind of use a lot of the auto supports, and then as I kind of got more comfortable with these custom supports, I started to just add more of the more custom ones, and you'll see that like I start deleting supports that I thought were going to be okay, and then I ended up just hating them, like this, as like the loop supports. I go through probably, gosh, I don't actually know how many times I went through those. I just kept redoing them. I didn't like the way they looked. And so this was just kind of a really big experiment. I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I still don't even really know what I'm going to call this coaster or what I'm going to theme it, but I went with a black track and dark purple supports, and I might change that. I don't really know. I apologize for the sniffling. I do still have a little bit of the remnants of the cold that I had. But here I'm actually finally making some custom like corkscrew supports, and I'm honestly just going off of the knowledge that I just kind of had from back when I first started researching supports for B&M coasters, mostly for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and I still research supports for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and I do have a floorless roller coaster project in the works for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I really haven't had time to work on it. And it's actually probably one of the best floorless layouts I've made, so eventually I will have to either make a Let's Play video or just finish it and upload it for you guys, because I'm really in love with the layout I made for it. But anyway, back to this. Here you can see I'm redoing these loop supports again. And honestly, I just want to express how happy I am that we finally got custom supports. I know that we kind of got them a while ago. I've been kind of out of the loop as far as things go in Planet Coaster, and I haven't been that active on my channel. But this is one thing that I was really hoping that we would get one day, because using the art shapes for custom supports, I just really didn't have the patience for that. I do use them for some of the connectors, because some of the B&M loop connectors aren't, the custom connectors that come with the game aren't really what the loop supports should be. And I would really honestly love to see a game that could auto-generate accurate like connectors and supports, but I'm fine with being able to make my own And who knows, maybe they'll add some more connectors and things as they continue to develop this game. Now that they've actually made more, that they've actually given us the option to do supports. And right here was the Cobra Roll, and this was kind of a tricky Cobra Roll to support because I kind of made it a little bit small, and I mean it's the first Cobra Roll I really designed, and it's not perfect. I will be the first to say that it's a little too banked in the middle. It's a little, I think, small, but I really didn't want to have to go and redo the whole thing, so I just kind of was like, whatever, this'll work. And I'm still really trying to get the hang of using the object copy like tools. I really haven't quite grasped that yet. So I probably don't make these supports as quickly and efficiently as I could, but this is pretty much purely practice. I mean, I have to start somewhere. We all started somewhere in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 back in the day, and I'm pretty sure the supports, I think they look fine. When I finally got done with these, right here they're still a little but the more I work on them, the more I kind of get used to it, and that's just practice makes perfect. Which is one thing that I kind of kept telling everybody that would ask me questions about supports in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, because a lot of people would just say, "Oh, my supports suck, and I'm not good at it," and I'd just be like, "Well, I sucked at 1.2." So, don't get discouraged. And that was kind of one of the things that kept me from really wanting to play Planet Coaster that like super often. Was I kept kind of being a bit of a defeatist about the fact that I wasn't good at supports, and I was really well known for my supports, at least I think, in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I had a lot of people compliment me a lot on those, so the fact that I wasn't good at supports, I was kind of just a little distraught. It might be a little bit of a dramatic term to use, but I'm kind of rambling. But I actually kind of really like using these supports, because it really does give you a lot of freedom to do whatever you want with the supports. Whereas with like Moby Steel Jungle and Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, you were very limited. But you could still do things very, very quickly in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. That's really the only upside to Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, is how quickly you could create supports if you knew what you were doing. If you really, really knew what you were doing. With this, it takes quite a bit more time. But in my opinion, it's a lot easier than No Limits, which could have changed. I really haven't messed around with No Limits 2. I had the first version, and I have since lost the key code for that, and you can't really get it anymore. So if I get No Limits, it'll have to be No Limits 2. But I've always been a very visual person, so working with just like the wire work of No Limits 2 was kind of annoying to me. And so for this, with this, I actually like this a lot, because I can see how thick the supports are and what they look like without having to render them. I didn't record myself making the layout of the roller coaster. mostly because I really wasn't sure what I was doing, and I figured I would save that for after I got a little bit more practice of making these layouts that are heartlined and smooth, like to a really heavy degree of smoothing. The 4-meter section building method, it's honestly quite tedious, and at first I wasn't really good at it. Obviously, I wasn't good at it. But I hadn't really figured out the trick to making it easier for myself, because I'm a very, very visual person. And so trying to make a whole layout out of tiny pieces was really honestly very hard. And what I figured out was I could just make large sections of the coaster without using the heartline method with the 4-meter track pieces. Just build large sections at a time, and then I would kind of just sort of trace that around, like, and it just seemed to work a lot easier. So that way I could visualize how big a turn was going to be and where it needed to bank and things like that. So I might, when I get better at this, make a video on that. I don't know. And here I'm just making the transfer track. It's almost complete. I don't really know what else to talk about. I might make a hanger for the track, the train storage area, but that is pretty much it for this episode. It was pretty quick. I probably rambled a bit, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.